Growing up, my sister, Emma, and I were as different as night and day. While I was reserved and focused on my studies, Emma was outgoing and always sought attention. Our rivalry began innocently enough, with friendly competitions and sibling banter. However, as we entered our teenage years, it evolved into a fierce battle for superiority. Emma was always the popular one, effortlessly captivating others with her charm and magnetic personality. She excelled in social situations, effortlessly making friends and attracting admirers. Meanwhile, I found solace in books and academics, often feeling overshadowed by her outgoing nature. As we reached adulthood, our rivalry intensified. We both sought success and recognition, determined to prove ourselves to the world. It seemed that every accomplishment I achieved was met with Emma surpassing it, driving me to work harder and strive for more. When I first introduced Emma to Mark, my rich and successful boyfriend, I didn't anticipate the storm that was about to brew. Emma's eyes lit up at the sight of his wealth and influence. I could sense her jealousy and the desire to possess what I had found. Little did I know that this encounter would set the stage for a tumultuous battle between sisters, where love, loyalty, and personal gain would collide. Our rivalry, once fueled by academics and achievements, now took a dangerous turn as Emma saw an opportunity to claim what she believed was rightfully hers. It was a fateful evening when I first laid eyes on Mark, my future boyfriend. We had both attended a grand charity event, and as I scanned the room, our gazes met. There was an undeniable spark between us, an instant connection that transcended the crowd around us. Mark was everything I had ever dreamed of in a partner, charming, confident, and undeniably wealthy. His charisma drew people to him effortlessly, and I found myself irresistibly drawn to his magnetic presence. We engaged in conversation, and it felt as though time stood still. It was love at first sight. As our relationship blossomed, I discovered that Mark was not just a man of wealth and success, but also someone with a genuine heart and a deep understanding of life's complexities. We shared our dreams, aspirations, and vulnerabilities, forging a bond that felt unbreakable. However, amidst the joy of our newfound love, I couldn't help but notice Emma's growing interest in Mark. Her friendly demeanor took on an edge of flirtation whenever he was around, and it was evident that she wanted to be a part of our connection. But I refused to believe that my own sister would be capable of such betrayal. Nevertheless, doubt lingered in the back of my mind. Was Emma genuinely happy for me, or did she see Mark as a trophy to be won, a means to prove her superiority over me once again? As my relationship with Mark continued to flourish, so did my concerns about Emma's intentions. Her constant presence whenever Mark was around began to raise my suspicions. It seemed as though she was always strategically positioning herself to be near him, engaging him in conversations when I wasn't present. At first, I tried to dismiss my worries as mere paranoia, attributing Emma's behavior to her naturally outgoing nature. But as time went on, her actions became increasingly unnerving. It was as if she was deliberately trying to insert herself into our relationship, subtly vying for Mark's attention. I confided in a close friend about my growing apprehensions, hoping for some reassurance or guidance. They urged me to trust my instincts and confront Emma about her behavior. It was time to address the elephant in the room and find out once and for all if my sister had ulterior motives. Summoning the courage, I decided to have a heart-to-heart conversation with Emma. I expressed my concerns and questioned her intentions, hoping that she would reassure me and put my fears to rest. But instead of providing me with the comfort I sought, Emma's response was evasive, brushing off my worries as baseless jealousy. Her lack of sincerity only fueled my suspicions further. It became clear that my sister was not only aware of the impact she was having on our relationship, but was reveling in the power she held over me. The lines of sisterhood and trust were becoming increasingly blurred, and I realized that this battle for love was far from over. As the days turned into weeks, it became increasingly evident that Emma was not going to back down in her pursuit of Mark. Her actions became more overt, and it seemed as though she was employing calculated tactics to undermine my relationship. Emma would go out of her way to create opportunities for herself to spend time alone with Mark, whether it was inviting him to events, or suggesting activities that excluded me. She would shower him with compliments, laugh at his jokes a little too eagerly, and subtly touch his arm during conversations. It was a masterclass in manipulation. Witnessing these tactics firsthand filled me with a mix of anger, betrayal, and disbelief. How could my own sister stoop so low as to try to steal my boyfriend? I confronted her again, this time with a stronger resolve and an unwavering determination to protect what was mine. Emma, ever the master of deception, denied any ulterior motives. She feigned innocence, claiming that she was merely being friendly and supportive. But I saw through her facade. Her actions spoke louder than her words, and it was clear that she saw Mark as nothing more than a prize to be won. I confided in Mark about my concerns, sharing the depths of my insecurities and the lengths to which Emma was going to get closer to him. Mark, being the perceptive and insightful person he was, promised to remain loyal to our relationship and assured me that he saw through Emma's manipulations. Armed with Mark's support, I resolved to confront Emma one last time and make it abundantly clear that her actions were not only unacceptable, but also futile. I was determined to protect the love I had found, even if it meant severing ties with my own sister. The time had come for a final showdown with Emma. I couldn't bear to let her continue her manipulative games, jeopardizing the love I had found with Mark. It was time to lay everything on the line and demand the respect I deserved. We met in a neutral location, away from prying eyes and distractions. Tension filled the air as we exchanged steely glances, both aware that this confrontation would determine the course of our relationship as sisters. I poured my heart out, expressing my deep disappointment and hurt over Emma's actions. I pleaded with her to understand the consequences of her choices and to realize the importance of family loyalty. But Emma, true to her nature, remained stubborn and defensive. She refused to take responsibility for her behavior, instead deflecting blame onto me and accusing me of overreacting. It became clear that she would not back down, convinced that she could win over Mark with her charm and cunning. In that moment, I made a choice to prioritize my own happiness and protect the love I had found. I declared that I would no longer tolerate Emma's toxic presence in my life. If she couldn't respect my relationship and support me as a sister, then I would distance myself from her completely. Emma's face registered shock and disbelief as she realized the magnitude of her actions. The realization that her manipulations had backfired hit her like a wave, and she was left grappling with the consequences of her choices. Walking away from that confrontation, I felt a mix of relief and sorrow. It was heartbreaking to sever ties with my own sister, but I knew it was necessary to safeguard the love and trust I had with Mark. It was a pivotal moment, one that marked the end of our rivalry and the beginning of a new chapter in my life. In the aftermath of the confrontation with Emma, my relationship with Mark took on a newfound strength and resilience. The love we shared had weathered the storm of my sister's manipulations, and it only grew stronger as we navigated the aftermath together. Mark, having witnessed Emma's true colors and the extent of her deceit, reaffirmed his commitment to our relationship. He expressed his love and loyalty, assuring me that I was the one he chose and that he would not let anyone come between us. Together, we forged a bond built on trust, honesty, and open communication. We created a safe haven where we could both heal from the emotional turmoil inflicted by Emma's actions. It was a time of growth and introspection, allowing us to appreciate the depth of our connection and the strength of our love. Meanwhile, Emma faced the consequences of her betrayal. The truth about her actions began to surface, causing her reputation to crumble. Friends and family, once enchanted by her charm, saw through her facade and distanced themselves from her. The isolation and loss of support was a harsh wake-up call for Emma, forcing her to confront the consequences of her selfish actions. As Mark and I moved forward, we focused on rebuilding our lives together. We immersed ourselves in creating new memories, nurturing our love, and building a future that Emma could never touch. We surrounded ourselves with genuine friends and supportive loved ones, forging a strong network that celebrated our happiness. As time passed, the consequences of Emma's actions caught up with her. The once charmed life she'd enjoyed began to unravel, and karma dealt her a heavy blow. Her deceit and manipulations had not only cost her the chance at a genuine and loving relationship, but had also tarnished her reputation among our shared friends and family. People saw through Emma's facade, recognizing her for the conniving and selfish person she had become. The trust she had once commanded crumbled, leaving her isolated and alone. The friends she had manipulated and used as stepping stones distanced themselves from her, unwilling to be caught in the crossfire of her destructive behavior. Emma faced the stark reality of the consequences she'd brought upon herself. The once envied life she had hoped to achieve slipped through her fingers as she grappled with the fallout of her actions. It was a humbling and eye-opening experience for her, one that forced her to reflect on the choices she had made and the damage she had caused. Meanwhile, Mark and I thrived in our love and happiness. Our relationship continued to grow, deepening our bond and reaffirming our commitment to one another. We learned from the past, cherishing the trust and honesty we shared. The lessons we had gained from the tumultuous battle with Emma only made us stronger as a couple. In a final act of revenge, I decided to take matters into my own hands. The battle with Emma had left wounds that ran deep, and I yearned for closure, a sense of justice to bring an end to our tumultuous relationship once and for all. Throughout our childhood, Emma had always coveted our family home, a place filled with cherished memories. Using the wealth and influence I'd gained, I devised a plan to secure the property for myself, effectively stealing the victory from Emma's grasp. Through a strategic bidding process, I outmaneuvered Emma and secured ownership of our childhood home. It was a bittersweet victory, a symbolic gesture to mark the end of our rivalry and assert my independence. The property became a tangible representation of my triumph over the years of competition and betrayal. As I settled into my new home, I couldn't help but feel a mix of satisfaction and sadness. The house held memories of our shared past, and it was a reminder of the bond we had once shared as sisters. However, it also symbolized my newfound strength and resilience, a testament to the fact that I had risen above the challenges and emerged victorious. For Emma, the loss of the family home served as a final blow. It was a stark reminder of the consequences of her actions and a tangible manifestation of the bond that had been severed between us. The house that she had longed to possess slipped through her fingers, a painful reminder of the love and trust she had lost.